Have you been thinking about a career in sales? Maybe you should. Here's why.
Hi, I'm Troy Harrison, the Sales Navigator. Most of the time when I make these videos, I'm talking to salespeople or sales managers. Today, however, I am expressly not talking to salespeople. I might be talking to you. I'm talking to people who are considering what direction their career is going to go in. Maybe you're a mid career person who has gotten tired of what you're doing. Maybe you're one of those tens of thousands of tech workers who have been laid off. Maybe you're an educator who's looking at leaving the teaching profession. Maybe you're just coming out of college. But today I am posing a question to you, and that question is, why should you consider a career in sales? I've been in sales for a long time. I love it. It's my passion. It's what I do for a living. It's been what I do for a living for 3 decades. However, I think that sales as a career has a lot to recommend itself, even to people who maybe not have considered a career in sales. So today I'm talking to you. Why should you consider a career in sales? I'm going to tell you some reasons why I think it'd be a good idea for you to consider a career in sales. I'll tell you a few reasons why maybe you wouldn't be a fit in sales. And if you're not, that's perfectly okay. So, what are the great things about sales that would make you want to consider a career in my chosen profession? Well, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Number one. Number one is income. Sales is, in many ways, and for many people, the highest paid profession that most people can have while working for other people. In other words, not being self employed. And I say that without having an advanced degree like a doctor or a lawyer or something else. For most people, if you want to make the big bucks or somewhat big bucks and still not own your own business, sales is a great way to do that. I always like to say it, sales is the best paid hard work you can find. And it's also some of the lowest paid easy work you can find. But if you want a profession where you can make a great income and provide well for your family, without having to take the risk of owning your own business, sales might be for you. Number two is independence. Sales is a profession where people earn their freedom. If you are a good salesperson, you're probably going to be able to work independently a lot of your workday. You won't have somebody standing over you in a cubicle farm all day. And as long as you're producing the numbers, you're going to be able to set a lot of your own conditions for work. Not all of them, sales managers will still manage you, but you'll have a lot more freedom than you do in a lot of other professions. Number three, this one might surprise you, but helping people. If you are driven by helping people, if you love to help people, sales is a great profession. My definition of selling is helping customers make positive buying decisions. In other words, helping people help themselves by purchasing the right things that they need to build their business or enhance their quality of life. If you like to do that, if you like to take in information from people and then use that information in ways to help them, sales might be a great career for you. Professional sales, properly done, is all about helping people. Number four, meeting new people. If you're the type of person who likes to have a wide circle of friends and acquaintances, well, sales is a great profession for you because you're probably going to be meeting a lot of new people. Now, when you're out meeting new people in sales, not all those people are going to be your friends. That's pretty unrealistic. But you probably will make new friends, make new acquaintances. Some of those customers may follow you from job to job. Some may just become friends and be lifelong friends. I have friends that I have met through a sales career, and they've stayed my friends even long after I had anything to sell to them. Number five, feeling core to the mission of your company, feeling important. One of the things that I hear a lot of nowadays is people who say, Troy, I'm just a cog in a wheel. I'm just a number. I'm just somebody sitting at a desk. And if I move out of that desk, I'm interchangeable. Somebody else will get plugged right in. Let me tell you something. If you are good in sales, you will feel and be very core and important to the mission of your company. Believe me, good salespeople are always in demand. Number six, diverse personalities can succeed. And here I'm shattering a few myths. I know that a lot of people think that there is a specific sales personality, the type of person who has the gift of gab, the type of person who is able to make everybody their friend, and maybe sometimes the type of person who's a little disingenuous. That's not true at all. I have seen all types of personalities succeed in sales. They say introverts can't succeed in sales. Horse hockey. I can think of 3 friends that are incredibly successful salespeople that are some of the most introverted people that you'd ever want to know. Intellectuals, non-intellectuals. I've seen engineers be very successful in sales. I mentioned it before, teachers. I've seen teachers come out of the education profession be very successful in sales. It's all about how you channel your personality to benefit the needs of your customers. So don't think that you automatically don't have that sales personality that you couldn't be successful in sales. With the right training, with the right management, there's a good chance that you can. Number 7, constant learning. Sales is a profession where you do not become stagnant. Great salespeople are learning all the time. Great salespeople are building themselves all the time. Whether you're learning about products, whether you're learning about customers, whether you're learning about new processes, new technology, sales is a profession that is always in evolution, always in flux. Now, sometimes people don't like to learn. They're the ones who are getting left behind in my profession. But let me tell you something. If you're the type of person who craves constant learning, constant development, sales just might be for you. Number 8, you're the type of person who loves to communicate. There are a lot of professions out there that are big on communication that have not found their way into sales. And I know I've said educator a few times. I'm going to say educator one more time, just because I've had a lot of success bringing people out of the education world into a sales profession. But if you're the type of person who loves communicating with other people, if you like using your intellect and using your head to find solutions and then communicating those solutions verbally, written, by telephone, by email, you might be good at sales. Think about it. And number 9, finally, salespeople are always in demand. And if there's anything that we've seen within the past couple of years, is that there's a lot of professions that can be very dispensable. Great salespeople are indispensable. Even if a great salesperson does encounter some career misfortune at one company, guess what? They're not going to have trouble finding another job. The skills of generating business, of helping companies generate business by helping customers get their needs met, are always going to be in demand. So if you want a career where you're always in demand, think about sales. It could be a great career for you. Now that I've given you a full-throated advocacy of why you should consider a career in sales, let's talk about some of the potential drawbacks. There aren't that many from my perspective, but you should know about them. Number 1 is accountability. Sales is a job that is very accountable. And in sales, you're accountable for your results, you're accountable for your activities, you're accountable for the quality of your customer relationships, you're accountable for the way you deal with people day in, day out. I don't want to say you're under the microscope, because you're not. Remember that independence. But in sales, you are probably more accountable, and more than that, more immediately accountable than most other positions in the building. And if you don't like that kind of accountability, sales may not be for you. And again, that's perfectly okay. Number 2, and this is probably the one most people think of when they think about a drawback to sales, is rejection. Understand something. No matter how good you are, no matter how good any salesperson is, those salespeople are going to get rejected from time to time. It happens. It's something that we know happens. Matter of fact, the very best salespeople probably only succeed about 1/4 of the time. If they count in all of their different customer interactions and all the different people that they contact, they're probably only going to sell, at best, about 1/4 of the people that they encounter during their career in sales. And that's okay. That type of a batting average makes you a star in sales. But sometimes, for some people, that other 75% of hearing no, 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 it can either be something that rolls off of you like water off a duck's back, or it can be something that is soul destroying. I've seen it be both for both people. And think hard about how you approach rejection when you're thinking about moving into a career in sales. I'm not saying you've got to have a turtle shell, but thicker skin than the average definitely helps. And third, some of those positives that I mentioned earlier, those 9 positives, depending on your personality, those could be negatives. If, for instance, you don't like to deal with a lot of people, well, most common sales jobs might not be for you. There are a few sales jobs out there where you only deal with a few people, a small group of customers, but those are probably the exception rather than the rule. So, those are some of the 3 drawbacks to consider when you're looking at a sales career. For me, it's absolutely been worth it. The accountability, dealing with rejection, and quite honestly, none of those positives or drawbacks for me. And I'd say for most salespeople, they're probably not. But these are some of the things to think about. So, what if you do want to get into a sales career? What's your first step? Well, I'll tell you. So now you're sitting there thinking, okay, Troy, I'm in. I want to take a shot at a sales career. I want to learn about it. What are some of my first steps? Well, I'll give you a couple of ideas. First of all, you should read some books on the profession. And there are several good books. I'll be honest, there are thousands upon thousands of how to sell books out there, but there are really only a few that I would recommend as a good primer for understanding what a sales career is all about. The first one I'll recommend, I'll be honest, it's my own, Sell Like You Mean It, Understanding Your Customers and Outselling Your Competitors. It's a great book. I obviously would say that, but I really do believe it's a great book. It's a compendium of decades of knowledge about selling, and it's written in a way that hopefully everybody can understand. I've had a lot of people who are first-time salespeople that have read this book and come back to me and said that it was a great starting point for a career. You can buy it on my website or on Amazon. I'm putting the link right here on the screen. Another great book about selling is called The Sales Bible by Jeffrey Gitomer. This is actually one of the first editions. I believe this edition was written and published in 1995. It's been around for a long time. And again, The Sales Bible by Jeffrey Gitomer, also available on Amazon. One tip I would recommend, you might think about getting on eBay or looking on Amazon as well, seeing if you could get an older edition like this one. This book was rewritten in the early 2000s, and I really believe that some of the content is stronger in the earlier editions. So that would be a recommendation. I also don't have a copy of it, but another really good book on selling as a primer is called Spin Selling by Neil Rackham. Again, also available on Amazon. So there's one step you can take to start out on a sales career. Read some books, find out what it's all about. You also might consider watching some YouTube videos from sales trainers like myself. Again, I'm going to put my YouTube channel right there on the screen, but there are a number of other people that you might want to look at. I would say to start perusing some sales job listings on LinkedIn. Look at how you write your resume and re-emphasize some of the communication skills that you have and some of the independent nature of the work that you've done. You might also consider rewriting your LinkedIn profile to reflect your interest in selling so that when you do start applying for sales jobs, people don't look at you and go, why the heck are they applying? Be specific about why it is you want to get into a sales career. And for a first sales job, if at all possible, my recommendation is to try to get involved with one of the larger companies out there that has a dedicated sales program designed to bring on people from outside the sales profession, whether they're coming right out of college or whether they're a mid-career changer. Bring them into sales, teach them what a sales system is all about. Large companies out there like IBM, Xerox, Coke, Pepsi, all of those big Fortune 500 highly branded companies, they have great initial training programs that some smaller companies don't have. Don't get me wrong, I love smaller companies. That's actually my customer base. But some small companies have great onboarding and training programs, like my clients, and some do not. So one of the things that you should ask if you're interviewing is, tell me about what kind of training and onboarding you will give me to bring me in and help me be in a successful sales career. Well, there you have it. I've shown you a little bit of a window into my world, my profession, the sales profession. I've shown you the positives, and frankly, I think I've shown you some of the potential warts of a sales profession too. I genuinely hope that this video has inspired you to consider sales as your career. Is that the objective? Yes, it is. I love sales. I'm very passionate about sales. And if there's anything my profession needs, it is a larger talent pool, and in some ways, a more diverse talent pool. And there's not a lot of professions that you can say that about right now. Salespeople typically don't get laid off by the thousands, and salespeople are paid appropriately for the work that they do, and they are valued appropriately for the work that they do. If any of this sounds good, again, whether you are a mid career changer, late career changer, right out of college, finding that your profession just doesn't have the opportunities anymore, I hope that you've watched this video. I hope that you take those next steps that I suggested. And I hope I'll see you somewhere down the road. A passionate salesperson like me, attending a conference, hopefully sitting in on one of my programs that I deliver somewhere. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm Troy Harrison, the Sales Navigator, and I hope to see you again soon.
If you are an owner or manager of a company, scan the QR code for your free sales strategy review.